Welcome to the Fly the Flag podcast. I'm Mike Ferrossi. This is Jonny Fowler. How's it going, brother?
Good. How the hell are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year. How are you?
You too.
Good.
You too.
Good.
How is it
Thank
out
you.
there? Are you guys still getting the rains and the tidal waves and stuff?
Here in Southern California, we got about a half day of rain. The rain wasn't that much. The high tide, I think they call it king tide, was pretty wild. There are a lot of piers in disrepair. There are a lot of stupid people that did not heed warnings that lost some valuables and things like that, and it made for a incredibly fascinating scroll across all of the social media feeds when you searched for it, because there was video being posted from all up and down the coast, from Northern California all the way down to San Diego, showing what the heck was happening. I saw playgrounds getting washed away.
Yeah.
They would it was pretty crazy stuff. And all sorts of people say El Nino. It's not El Nino. El Nino is why we're having unseasonably warm weather. It is not what causes king tide. That happens about once a year. And it's just a thing that literally and figuratively comes and goes. So it was pretty wild to see. Luckily, we're a little bit more inland, so we didn't have to worry about that stuff. But pretty
So have you
crazy.
always had that?
Yeah, that happens. It happens more commonly than most people think.
Okay. All right.
And
so for us, it was the first time I remember ever seeing it, and they showed it on every news station throughout Texas and all day long in one of those things. So it was something new to me.
Yeah. I did a bit of research, and king tide happens basically yearly.
Okay.
Not to this level though. This was one of the
like
stronger ones that's happened. Yeah.
You can count on Santa Ana winds and you can count on king tide.
Yes, but Santa Ana winds aren't always going to give you 50-mile-an-hour gusts, but sometimes they will.
Got it.
Same thing with king tide. King tide's going to happen, and every so often it gets like this, and it can get really, really trippy.
Okay, very important question.
Yeah.
What is it like living blocks away from Disney on New Year's Eve?
Not that different than anywhere else. Disney doesn't do a whole lot of fireworks on New Year's Eve.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about Disneyland, like, it is a 365-day-a-year tourist destination for people from all over the world. So
except for this year. No,
always.
366 days this year.
Oh yeah, 2020. That's right. We got leap year this year. So it, like, holiday season gets busier, but the place is never not busy, and they're never not doing stuff, and they're never not having fireworks shows and parades and this and that, like all the stuff. It's just always happening because people save up for their entire life sometimes to get to this place, and that doesn't fall flat on me. We're really lucky for where we are and where we live, and that the kids can experience that more than a few times a year is pretty amazing. And it's one of those things, like, they owe it to their guests to provide that level of experience every single day of the year, because every single day there are people there having a once in a lifetime experience.
I just assumed that New Year's Eve would be something more over the top or something.
They did a special little fireworks show at midnight. They kept both parks open until midnight, which isn't normally the thing. And they did special shows at midnight in both parks. But other than that, it's actually still Christmas time there. Like, everything's still decorated for Christmas all the way through January 8th, I believe. They do Christmas time.
So are you still in the mortgage business?
I'm still in the mortgage business. Happy to say, proud to say, I'm one of the lonely survivors.
Ditto.
Oh man, 2023 was a rough one. And as 2023 steps aside, while we toss some proverbial dirt on that year, can we, along with it, toss some dirt on the saying, marry the house, date the rate?
Oh God.
Can we please? And also, can we just squash in the first week of 2024 here? Can we please squash more in 24? Like, think of a better rhyme. Come on, guys.
Oh, Oh, it's so bad.
I
One of
know.
the things that I don't know if you're in any of the, I know you're more of a LinkedIn guy than a
Yeah.
Facebook guy, but I'm in a number of the real estate groups on Facebook. And one of the big things that we're seeing over there is this just crazy where they want to use a group of 180,000, 200,000 agents
Yeah.
to come up with a sales slogan for their name. Like buy first with mfaraci and things
Sure.
like that. It's just but yeah,
Can we
I'm gonna
talk? Can we talk about that a little bit? I mean, we're both marketing nerds here, right?
talk about it.
Can we talk about brand messaging? Like
Oh God, yes.
using hundreds, if not thousands, of people to come up with a thing for your deal that's one thing, right? But this brand messaging is something that I'm intimately involved with because I'm redoing it for myself right now.
Yep.
It's what I was doing right before we hit record. So like a lot of this is fresh on my brain. Um, when you're thinking about taglines and messaging to use in your marketing, and every post you make is marketing, especially on LinkedIn, where I am most of the time because I talk to business people. It's business to business for me, and that's what LinkedIn is kind of there for. That's the sweet spot. But also, when people go into your Facebook and your Instagram profiles and they see your taglines and they see like all of that stuff, not only does it need to be consistent, but don't make it corny. Will you
Ugh,
please? Don't make it rhyme. Don't make it corny. Don't make it clever. Make it clear.
perfectly said. Perfectly said.
Clarity is key. And with clarity comes consistency. So, I mean, you don't see Apple products using a different Apple logo on the back every once in a while. You don't see Nikes having a different type of logo other than the swoosh on the side of the shoe.
But
Like,
when you do, it makes you question what's going on. Are these fake? When you see the swoosh backwards,
yes.
it's something's up with these.
So if you have a logo associated with your company or the company that you're doing business with, or you have fonts that have been provided by your branding marketing departments, you have colors that are associated with all that need to be consistent across all the stuff that you publish. Your messaging also needs to be consistent across all the stuff that you publish, and that messaging can't make questions arise in people's mind. It needs to provide clarity into what you do. So buy with me in 23. Now I need something for 2024.
Right.
That's a problem. You
I,
should be able to stick with the same thing
I
regardless
have
of
been
what year it
questioning
is.
20th Century Fox forever
Sure.
because especially since we're in the 21st century. I got to tell you this, and it goes along with what we're talking about. And I was going to tell you this today anyway, and didn't realize we were going to talk about this.
Mhm.
I saw some marketing yesterday that made me think of you, and it as soon as I saw it, you're the
Mhm.
first person that came to mind.
All right. Dump it on me. I'm a little scared.
It was a guy that was similar. You people don't know this by looking at us on Zoom. We're similar sizes, except for you're what, 2 feet taller than me,
2.5 maybe. Yeah.
2.5 feet taller
Yeah.
than me. So it was a guy that was like in between. I'm 5'10", you're what, 6'4",
Yeah.
6'5"?
6'4".
6'4".
Yeah.
Guy in between, same size, black hoodie. So this was you as soon as I saw it.
Yep.
On the back of his hoodie, it said, I buy homes cash 713, and it was his number.
There it is.
It was clear. It was as personal as it could be because it's on his body.
Yep.
It was in font that I could read and the size, and I knew exactly. I didn't have to guess and think about, is he a real estate agent? Is he a builder? Is he a developer? He told me exactly what it was. I buy houses cash and a phone number.
I love that. I
It
love that.
was absolutely perfect. And as soon as I saw it, and it's one of those ones, you don't want to take a picture of another guy in the grocery store kind of deal. But I thought about it. I said, dude, that's mfaraci all day long.
So there's there's a startup accelerator that I was lucky enough to be a part of a few years ago, and they had this thing called a 10 word. Drill down what you do into 10 words.
Oh yeah.
If you can't explain it in 10 words, you haven't done enough work in simplifying. And then when it comes to the other stuff,
And that's
like
difficult.
it's super difficult, completely difficult. Like one of the products that I offer with the agency is a thing where we do a recorded interview, we cut your shorts out of it, we coach you through making your content, we help come up with topics, we workshop your ideal customer personas. Like there's a lot of back and forth, but at the end of the day, it's like an hour long call, and you get off, and then we take the recordings and edit it up into all the videos.
And you guys do a great job at it. I've been
Thank
watching
you.
those videos, and they great job at it.
Thank you very much. We have a nice handful of very happy clients right now, and I'm proud of that. But I say all this to say that I had to say all that. That's not 10 words.
Yeah.
I had to simplify it. So it took me literally 6 months to get to the point to where I said, okay, like the value proposition here is, yeah, the coaching's good, the workshopping is good, the strategy is good, like all that stuff's great, but those are additional things. The main thing here is that you're saving a ton of time.
Yeah.
You hop on an hour-long call, you end up coming away with a month worth of content. Oh, okay. Now that's drilling it down. Okay, let me get that to even what's the lowest number of words that I can say that in. So now when you go to my website and you head over to that product page, the first thing you see is 1 month of content in 1 hour of your time. That's it. And so that's the thing. Clarity, simplicity, convey that message as quickly and as clearly as possible. And if you do it well enough, people are going to scroll down, or people are going to reach out, and they're going to ask about the details. These taglines, much like your social media posts, much like the videos that you shoot and post, they are not like beginning to end sales pitches. They are conversation starters. That's it. They're just meant to.
I think they're introductions. Who is it that you are? Because one, I can't work with somebody who is not in it for me.
Sure.
I can't work with someone who knows nothing about what it is. You don't have to be an expert. I'm just going to make this up. And let's say you're doing it for a real estate company. Well, I don't need you to necessarily have a real estate license. I don't need you to actually have a sign up, but I need you to understand what my lingo is, how people think, how consumers think, how we think, what we do.
That's
and
right.
One of the things I wanted to say to you is I am not only so proud of what you've done, but I watch this stuff. And here's something that I notice. And I'm not going to mention his name. If you want to, you can go ahead. His initials are BV. One of the things that I noticed is this is from my perspective.
Yep.
When you first started working with him,
yes,
it went from, I don't necessarily believe in 1 hour we're going to get 1 month's worth of content. I don't necessarily think that you can really I think we can talk for an hour.
Yes.
But then what I saw is when you were able to pull that out of him, and this is where the talent comes from on your side, is knowing timing, knowing what to ask, when to ask, how to ask it, knowing how to watch that flow and keep that flow, and knowing what we're going to use out of that in a 60-minute time period, and watching his expression go from, I know that you say you can do this and I know that it can be done. And then all of a sudden, it's like, holy shit, I'm a freaking video superstar.
That's right. That's right. And so that is like, that's a great way to contract a company, to hire somebody to help you, to, you bring on a service provider and they help you kind of accelerate that process. They help you save all of that time. But what if you're one of us mortgage people who struggled all the way through 2023? We're surviving and we don't have the budget to put into something like that. You can still get there.
Yep.
You're just going to have to pay with your time.
Yep.
You don't pay with your money, you pay with your time. It's as simple as that. And one thing that I was hitting on, it was a private one-on-one call that I was doing last week. And the point that really kind of opened the eyes, where I saw the light bulb in the person go off, right? This is a person who's very uncomfortable on camera. Never in a million years did they think that they can make a good video. I coached them into making a good video. Yay, great. Pat myself on the back. That's not the point. The main point is when I saw the light bulb ping right after I said, you do realize that you don't have to post video when you shoot it, right? And all of a sudden the eyes opened and they started thinking about the possibilities. Oh, you mean I can pull up my phone, flip it into selfie mode, hit record, deliver a message, and not post it? Yeah, you don't have to post the video. That's called practice.
Yep.
Like these are the things that you can get good at without putting yourself out there in public in a way that you may or may not be comfortable with until you get good enough to where you are comfortable with it. So think of a message that you want to deliver to somebody, an audience, a target client, a target referral source, recruit, whoever it is you're looking to talk about. Flip that camera on yourself and deliver that message like 10 different times in a row and watch it back every time and ask yourself how you could do it better. You wouldn't write a newsletter and then send it out to your entire database without editing it, right? So why aren't you doing that with your video content? Like, shoot it, figure out how you can make it better, shoot it again, repeat. And then the next thing you know, like, so you make 10 videos. It takes you 10 to 15 minutes. You don't post a single one of them, but now you know how you sound.
Yep.
And you know a much more efficient way, a more clear way to deliver the message that you're looking to deliver. That's a worthwhile 10 to 15 minutes to spend, even if you're not taking tangible content for posting out of it.
No ifs, ands, or buts. One thing that I've gotten my people to start doing to help them, and I am so proud of this, and I don't know if it'll show up, a common friend that you and I have that lives out of New York.
Yeah.
Does that show up?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
I have gotten people, and one of my suggestions is, instead of sending normal text messages like you do, record a video and talk to. So it's for, I think, in my opinion, for a lot of people, when Faraci says, just talk to your customer, I think a lot of people have blinders on and they're like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means to talk to my customer. Where we know what that means, we've been doing it for so long. And one of the things I've been telling people is do this. Next time you send a text message, instead of just sending a text message, record a video and say what you're going to say to that person. Hey, Mom, I'm running late. I'll be there in a little bit to pick you up.
Yeah.
In about 15 minutes, and push send. And what you'll do is you're going to watch that just out of vanity, but it will start getting you comfortable in front of the camera and realize that you can do this. And the other thing that it'll do, and this is what I think is funny, and this actually happened to somebody I told this to, is they did like 2 or 3 of them in a row, not realizing that the phone was on Bluetooth and it wouldn't pick up what they were saying on the video, and they send it, and they send out a video to people, and it's just
nothing. It's just mouth
video
moving
with no audio, and it just teaches us these things.
And
but it makes it fun.
Imagine being in a situation where you are a selling agent. Okay. You're selling, or you're a buyer's agent. Doesn't matter, I guess. And you referred the buyer to your lending partner. Now, we've had a lot of real estate agents on this show. And what is their number one complaint about
communication? Lack of
communication. Can't get a hold of them. Nobody picks up the phone. Nobody blah, 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 this and that. All right. It takes you just as much time to say on video, probably less time than what you would type in an email. How much more trust and how much stronger of a relationship would you have with your realtor partners if, instead of sending the same weak ass email that you always do, you just turn the camera on yourself and say, hey, I just heard back from the underwriter. All conditions are cleared except for this one. As soon as we get that document over, we'll be able to shove it over to closing, and we'll be able to get this stuff sent off to escrow. Just wanted to give you the update. Hope you have a great night. Like just that.
But go deeper and farther. Hey, I received all your documents. You sent your bank statement. We only received page 1 through 9 of 10. I know that last one shows that there's nothing on there, but the underwriter, Freddie and Fannie and everybody want to see all 10. If you could do me a favor and just send all 10, it doesn't matter if that last one's blank, just where it shows 10 of 10, we're good.
Yes. And that all comes back to providing clarity.
Yep.
Clarity in your message.
It's so much easier, so much faster. You can see the person's thoughts, the feelings, how they're acting, interacting.
The mannerisms.
I'm not condescending to you when I say I need all of the pages. I'm just saying I need all of them, 10 of 10. And it doesn't come across where it's condescending.
Sure. You can type in an email. I know this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's a requirement. We need blah, blah, blah. But that text is going to be read in whatever tone of voice the reader wants to, whatever they want to assign to you.
Whoever just pissed them off last at the cash
But if you
register,
give them a video saying, I know this seems crazy, I don't understand it either, but we need that last page. Could you please just send it over? The powers that be are going to require it forever. You know what I mean? Like, then you are assigning yourself a tone of voice, and you're more relatable, you're more likable, you're more trustworthy, you're more human. And I mean,
and it's also
that's it. Just be human.
The relationship you have with that customer can come out also. So if it was the first time I had met somebody or something like that, I may be a little bit more professional and a little bit more rigid.
Sure.
If it's you and I speaking, I'm going to say, hey, brother, you forgot to send me that last page, one of those kind of things.
Absolutely. And this is part of the reason that a big part of my clarity of messaging for 2024 is to try to separate video from social media. So many people have gotten in the habit of thinking, I got to make video for social media. Video is social media, but it's not.
Great point. Great point.
Fun little tidbit. What is believed to be the oldest surviving example of video, moving picture, was filmed in France in 1888.
Yep.
Video has been around since before any of us have been born, and it's going to be around for a lot longer. Video is a creative medium that can be used to convey a message. Social media is a distribution platform for content, right? That content can be text, it can be video, it can be audio, it can be image, it can be many different things. But video is not social media. It can be used in so many different ways. It can be used in email, it can be used on your website to help it rank on search pages. It can be used in non-social media type of hosting platforms like YouTube and things like that. It can be used, like we're saying, one-to-one, person-to-person connection, just to inject an actual human conversation into something that would otherwise be words on a screen. It can be a movie, it can be a TV show, it can be on a streaming service, it can be a commercial, it can be like video is a creative medium. And then from there, you take that video that you create, and the people that we're talking to right now, the thing that you're creating is a marketing asset. And then you go and distribute that marketing asset through every distribution channel that you believe can work for your business. Social media is a huge one of those right now. But at the end of the day, you want to distribute your marketing assets where your target clients are paying the most attention. In 2024, that's social media. It might not always be. It definitely wasn't in the past.
Right.
But for now, for the first time ever, you can get your marketing assets in front of people through free distribution channels that cost you $0.00. That's never happened in history. If you ever wanted to do that before, you were paying for newspaper ads, getting in the yellow pages, TV, radio, pre-roll in the movie theater, you name it, you're paying to play, and you don't have to do that anymore, but you have to do it. You have to get your message out there.
One thing I need you to add to that, and this is something that I was taught a decade ago about video is text is bland and plain. Video has authority. And what I mean by that is when we see a video, whoever's in the video, there is some sort of authoritative figure. Whether it be the weatherman, whether it be a news anchor, whether it be a movie star, whether it be people like, when you get down to, what are the two brothers? One of them's turned into a boxer now. Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Yes. This is somebody who had, I don't want to say no redeemable skills, but everything
but you said it.
Everything is about video. That's the whole thing.
Sure.
It's video and building an audience. And you don't have to do it like that, but otherwise we would never know who Conor McGregor was if it wasn't for video.
Sure.
Because what's the percentage if you take, and we're in a larger world than we've ever been in right now. I don't know if you heard those numbers this morning. I mean, kind of astounding the number of humans on this planet right now.
I have not heard those numbers.
We've exceeded over 8 billion now.
Okay.
The numbers came out this morning and it was just absolutely insane. But without having the mode of transportation of video, so much of what we know wouldn't even be around.
Sure.
So that's one of the reasons I need people to get on video. The cool thing is 95% of the people are either scared or won't do it or lazy. So you're not fighting against that many, but you've got to do it. And you've got to think about this. We all talk about, hey, did you see this? Did you see this video? Let me send you this video. Let me send it to you in Messenger. Let me send you a link, whatever that is. And there are tons and tons of people that have made a complete career. We know that. By the way, I saw Aquaman this weekend.
I'm sorry.
It was actually okay.
Oh, was it?
I like him.
The previews made it seem like it was so
oh my God, it was
much.
The previews.
I can't even.
So here's what happened.
I will wait for that one to come out on
I'm a movie
Max.
guy. I love going to the movies. I love the experience of being at the theater, especially when it's in the XD theater or something along those lines. That's a big deal to me, and it's always has been. So we're sitting there doing shit around the house yesterday. Cassie says, I got tickets for 2:30 to go see Aquaman. And I didn't want, it's one of those ones, like if your wife packs your lunch, you don't bring it home.
You eat it. Yeah.
You eat it or you throw it away, but you don't bring it home.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones like, oh, good.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it.
That's good.
It did kind of surprise me. So I want to semi wrap this up, but I want you and I to think about this. And I want to know, tell me what 2024 has in store for Mike Faraci, and what we're starting with in January.
So 2024 for me, there's a lot. So obviously I'm going to continue working on growing my brand, honing my messaging, refining my ideal client personas, and connecting with as many as possible. That's what's on the front of my mind right now. In addition to that, in parallel, I'm working on growing an insurance vertical for AFN, which I think is going to be a really great way to help our home buyers quickly and easily get the cheapest homeowners insurance policy, not cheapest in value, but cheapest in money spent, right?
Money out of your pocket.
The lowest cost homeowners insurance policy in a quick and easy and completely automated way.
Back up 13 seconds. When you say insurance vertical,
yes.
Maybe somebody doesn't understand what that means, because that's something that's lingo for our business. Tell me what insurance vertical means.
I'm booting up a licensed insurance agency.
Okay. So you're going to help anybody who needs homeowners insurance inside of. Okay.
Yep. So working on that from the media company side, like I said, working on the messaging, honing the ICP, like all of that fun stuff.
ICP
and ideal client personas, and then ideal customer personas, and then moving into not just growing what we're currently doing with our guided content creation and our brand amplification type of stuff, but moving into consulting, some public speaking, and possibly some, I don't want to say webinars, because I'm not a huge fan of webinars, but maybe online presentations that are free to join, that are not just a click funnel, that are not just a lead funnel, that are not pay to play, just different ways to get the information out there. Because what I've realized is that because I am a knowledge junkie and I have a passion for video, that allows me to be a really good hub to take in information from all sorts of different places, organize it in a really good way, and then convey it in a way that's clear and easy to understand for the layman, for the person who's not in this all day every day.
Okay.
And I want to be able to cultivate more information like that, and help people along with their video marketing, and make it and make it seem just like a no-brainer to start doing it with intent. I see so many people want to get on video and start making and posting, and it's with great intentions, but they start and stop with posting about what they want to talk about. And I want to try to help as many people as possible flip the script and say, no, think for a second about what your viewer wants to hear about. That's what you need to be talking about. Let's get really intentional. Let's not make video so you can be making video. Let's make video so your target clients can be watching video. You know what I mean? Instead
No,
of
I love it. I love what you're saying.
So it's that type of stuff. Let's figure out how we can hone your messaging and lean into what you're good at, on or off camera, to make sure that the content that you're posting has you connecting with new potential clients and referral sources 24/7. Because that's the power of posting this stuff out there, is that people can see it all day, every day, not just when you're around. And it can work for you. It can literally work for you while you're sleeping. And I want to help people do that.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
How about you, my friend?
One thing that I'm going to ask you that's a little bit selfish.
Yep.
Is if you help people with the video and you're giving them information on how to do it instead of you doing it yourself, ask them if they would please stop doing that horrible intro where they're sitting there pretending like they're not knowing that it's a video. And then all of a sudden somebody hits record and then they start walking. Those intros drive me insane. What about me?
There's a lot of intros. There's a lot of intros that need to go away. But that can be a whole episode of its own. So what do you got going on for the year?
One of the things for me, so I've spent a lot of time, and like you were talking about consulting, one of the things that I have been doing is letting people know that what we just went through, and people like you and I think, my personal opinion is we're out of it. We started getting out of it in October. We just don't realize it, and we won't realize that we started getting out of it in October until probably March. And then we'll go, oh yeah, it has been getting better. Things like that.
It's like a recession, right? You don't know you're in one until you're 6 months into one. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've been doing a lot of that and helping people. But there's things I had to take a couple of really hard looks at myself. And one of them is I know that this happens every 6.7 years. I know that this should have happened, and it started happening in 2019.
Yes.
And because of quantitative easing and all of those, it just exacerbated and prolonged it. I know that these last for about 22 months. So we can kind of put it on a calendar. And one of the things that I love, and I kind of have to tell myself this and remind myself and call my friends that are the lead guys, the e-commerce, the refi guys, because they already know this. They shut it down when it gets rough. They open it back up. They know how this works. But I've had to kind of remind myself that. Now, this is going to sound completely different because our age differences, but I realize that I've got about 2 to 3 business cycles left
Mhm.
throughout my period of time that I'm going to, be in this business or still kicking or whatever that may be. So, because we're in different places, I've been
Uh-huh.
planning on that. Now, here's some things where I had to get on my ass a little bit. Um, for years, matter of fact, it'll be theoretically 30 years in May that I've been in this business.
Okay.
Um, one of the things that I've been doing forever is bringing massive, massive value to the real estate and mortgage industry, and I've been doing it for free.
Yeah.
It's made me very proud to be able to do that and to help people. But what I have done is I've kind of looked backwards and said, and thought to myself and talked to and asked, if somebody is not willing to invest in themselves, why should I spend hours and days when they won't do the work themselves? So
Mhm.
that's something that I have come to this realization, and I am going to improve on this year. Last year, just to give you a couple of numbers with AFN,
Yeah, I saw this table. I was gonna ask you to bring it up because
the
I was
numbers.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't have them in front of me,
I
but
do. Hold on.
okay.
I'm gonna look them up right now. Here, say something while I do that.
Okay.
So
So
do I
this
have any
is one
dead
of the
air.
things that I've done, but I'm still going to bring value. It's something, and I'm learning a lot on how to do this and why to do this. So by now, I'm no expert whatsoever, but I am starting to get my feet wet in knowing what this is and how to manage it. I'm going to start doing things. One of the things that I and this was it came apart. Or I'm sorry, it came about by accident. A friend of mine who actually we need to have on this show. His name is
Mhm.
Corey Reeves, and he is a really, really badass real estate agent up in Montgomery, where Scott and Jared are.
Yeah.
And I'm telling him one day because I was kind of disappointed, and um, my wife and I do this every open house that we ever do. She's a real estate agent.
Mhm.
We do, and we call it an epic open house because we just put a lot of production into it. We try and make it epic. I've been to those open houses where there's one agent, they don't even get up when you walk in the door. There's two
Yeah.
people that look at the house. I hear agents constantly bitch about how bad open houses suck and they don't like doing it, and they plan their open house about 15 minutes before they actually do it and things like that. So
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I'm talking to Corey, and I tell Corey that I was kind of disappointed. It was the area town that the house was in or whatever, but I said, dude, we only had 36 people show up to our open house today. And he said, what? And I said, I know. But I think a part of it was, and he goes, how many people? And I said, 36 people. And he said, I can have 6 open houses and not get 36 people. And he said, how did you do that? And I said,
Gotta
well,
plan.
no, I mean, our good one, our big one that we did, the best we've ever done was a $1.3 million house, which here in Texas, to let you know,
Yeah.
that was a brand new build. Theoretically, it was a few years old, but it was a brand new build, 8,000 feet on the water, 4-car garage, cul-de-sac, corner lot kind of
Okay.
thing. One
Thank you
point,
for clarifying that because there's literally a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1 mile up the road that's listed for 1.25. So it's a different thing out here right now.
way different, way
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
This is the house in the neighborhood kind of thing. Anyway, we had 104 people through that open house in 2 hours. So Corey's been working with me. Bethany and I have been putting it together.
Yeah.
We're doing an epic open house thing, and I'm going to start teaching agents how to have these epic open houses. It doesn't cost very much money to do it. But there is a program you have to do. So I'm going to do a lot of this. I'm going to try and bring more instant value to those who will invest in themselves, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I am going to, I don't, maybe I need to get you to show me how to do this or say this or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I am going to spend less time with people who don't have enough value in themselves and more time with those that find a value in themselves that want.
Invest in those who invest in themselves type of thing.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I got your numbers. So for context, this is your modern marketing seminar, and you've been doing these for AFN branches,
Yes, sir.
specifically for uh, mortgage branches of American Financial Network who want to plan events around this. And like the whole draw is Johnny's going to give you 4 to 5 hours of gold on how to succeed on social media as a mortgage as a mortgage loan officer, branch manager, real estate agent, or broker owner. This is directed specifically to mortgage and real estate people, and you made this available to all of AFN in 2023 and said, if you want to plan an event around this and invite all your local realtors to learn from this, and then also be able to network with them and provide the value, like you cater it, you set up the room, whatever it is, give me the date, I'll show up, I'm going to do this for you. You did 20 of those live events. What would you say, 80 to 90% of attendees were realtors, real
Oh
estate
yeah,
agents?
without a doubt.
Okay,
We
good.
invite realtors, small business, sales, anybody who needs to know how to use social media, but then again also anybody who you and I would think of is in our referral, sphere of influence.
Gotcha. And then so it said you did 20 live events. I was at the one in Oceanside. That was a lot of fun. 1,644 total attendees. And that's live in person, captive audience to network with. 1,644 total attendees got 5 hours of Johnny's, I mean, call it what it is. It's a social media masterclass. I know this stuff pretty darn well, and there was no possible way that I was retaining all the information that he was providing. It was phenomenal stuff that you were going out there and giving. So like kudos to you. You always pat me on the back. I got to pat you on the back, man. That was awesome. And a special shout out to our man Anthony Casillas, who opened for you in that Oceanside session. He blew the roof off of that place, man.
Loved it.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. It blew me away.
Energy like crazy.
I told him, I pulled him aside and told him, just person to person. That's the first time I had ever heard him speak to a group of people that was not solely Team AFN employees.
Yeah.
And to see him get out of kind of the company mentality and just into pure
Anthony Casillas.
motivation. Oh man, he was incredible. So
Yep.
anyways, loved hearing Anthony talk. And then in addition to those 1,644 attendees in person, you did 5 different online social media master classes with a total of almost 1,000 additional real estate agents attending those. And like, just so everybody knows, like, this is a tool, Team AFN. This is a tool that's available to you. This is 2,600 real estate agents that Johnny and Bethany, I got to mention Bethany.
Yes.
I know she's back there in the background listening from the other room because we make too much noise and she can still hear us. But 2,600 people that Johnny and Bethany were able to connect you to, Team AFN. These are your referral sources. Do something with them. Will you please do something with them? Stay in touch with them. Make sure they're in your database, and not just for some crappy drip email campaign. Reach out to them. Get in touch. 2024 needs to be the year of the database. You need to get in touch with your database. You can't wait anymore, because you said it, Johnny. You got the friends. You got the refi guys who know when to boot it up. And right now, are they booting up?
They're starting to.
You know what I mean? So you really, like, loan officers, please get in touch with your database. Be personable, be human, reach out one-on-one, do little cell phone videos, send little text messages. Hey, I was thinking of you. Just make sure that those refi guys that boot up in 2024 to snag your customers from you can't. Make sure that you're building that relationship so that client knows where to come back to for a refinance, and they can trust that you're going to let them know when it's worth them to do it.
Can I add to that a little bit?
Absolutely, please do.
Okay. So here's what you're fixing to fight against. For anybody who's been in the business for 30 years, for anybody who's been in the business for 30 days, this is what you need to know. Here is your new competition. Your new competition is willing to work for about 1/10 what you work for.
100%.
Your new competition, who is getting ready to hit the streets harder than they ever have before, is willing to work for 1/10. They don't care if they have 50 closings and 5 fall out, because 45 will close this month. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They are a churn and burn system. So that's what you're getting ready to fight against. It's coming. You can laugh, you can cry, whatever it is, but it's coming, and it's going to be here very, very quickly. If you don't start preparing right now, this minute, to overcome that, if you don't start nurturing your database right now to start putting it together, you will fail, and you will fail in a year that's going to be an up year.
100%. Well said. I don't have much to add to that. Like, and the one thing that I do have to add to that, support. Like, if you need help with your messaging, let me know.
Yep.
I'll help you. I'll help you come across human and actually put together some stuff that's going to connect with people. There's a whole lot of, I've heard it referred to this way, and I've completely adopted it as my own. I've heard it referred to BS marketing, boring and self-serving. You know, like, so much marketing is just BS. It's
Did you know Fannie Mae raised their loan limits?
Oh my God, that's the thing. Nobody cares, guys. Nobody
cares.
The FHA? Nobody cares. All the social media posts that you were putting out saying Fannie Mae raised their loan limits, your actual end users, they care.
They don't even know what that means.
0%. They don't care about that. How many borrowers, honestly, how many people have you worked with over the past 5 years, right? And if you've been in the industry less than 5 years, then the entire duration of your career in the industry. How many people have you worked with? Did you come up against the barrier of, oh man, if that conforming loan limit was just $10,000 higher,
yep,
that would turn this into a deal. But otherwise, because we're at where we're at, we can't close. Like, how many times has that happened? Now, don't get me wrong. There's people who would have been conventional instead of high balance, and it would have got them a better rate. Sure, absolutely. There's people that would have been able to keep a couple of bucks in their pocket because they wouldn't have had to put down payment, enough down payment to make it a conventional loan amount. There are different situations like that, but how many transactions died because of the conforming loan limit? What the conforming loan limit does more than anything is help sellers get more for their property, because that's just permission for them to sell it for more. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, what's the average loan limit in Texas, Johnny?
I mean, you're talking about the average loan size?
Yeah, average loan size in Texas ish.
I think in Houston, the median home sales price was $345.
Okay.
In Houston, Texas, 4th largest city in the country.
Yep.
And I think the average sales price was really close to it, $338, $339. I can look it up real quick, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to be right in that ballpark.
So why are so many
go up to 700,000 means absolutely nothing.
I was going to say, so why are so many mortgage professionals in Texas telling their entire network they can go up to 750 now? Like,
what we care about is payments. That's what we really care about.
Yes.
And mortgage guys should take a step back and look at so the car salesman, which I know that nobody wants to be compared to. We all make jokes about them and so forth, but they know how to do it. What do you want your payment to be? Where do you want your payment to be? Because that's what really matters. I know how much I bring home a month. I know what I can afford to spend. When it comes down to it, that's what really, really matters.
Yes.
And I think we'd probably do a better job at putting people in the right product if we did pay attention to that.
So before I got into the mortgage industry, I was, you guessed it, a car salesperson. And
Please tell me you sold Honda Civics or something like that.
I worked at a Toyota dealer for a while and a
Did you
Ford.
sell Corollas?
Oh
I
yeah,
just I
absolutely.
want it in my mind. I want to see 6'5" mfaraci folding up to go on a test drive into a Corolla
It's not.
or a
It's not
Prius.
comfortable. It's not comfortable. No Priuses, but Corollas at the time. Yeah. So, um, I can tell you a few valuable sales lessons that I've learned from working as a car salesperson. Number one, the old car salesperson moniker that everybody badmouths is decades old and basically doesn't exist anymore. Um, Number two, this is one of the most valuable lessons I ever learned from a sales manager in my life. Do you know how you can tell when a customer is lying? And I said, no, when? I said, when their mouth is moving. And turns out it's basically true 100% of the time when you're working on a car lot. Because when you actually sit down to negotiate a deal, I can't tell you how many people that have said, I want a $5,000 discount on this car and I want a 2.5% interest rate or less. And I'll buy the car right now. And I say, okay, let me go see what I can do. And then I come back to the table and I say, here you go. I got you a $5,000 discount on the car and a 2.5% interest rate. Here's your monthly payment. Let's go. Oh, well, I can't afford that. Because monthly payment is the thing that matters. That's what's actually coming out of people's pockets every single month. So when it comes to monthly payments, when it comes to things like that, I'm going to give you before we go, I want to give you a quick tip that can drive a lot of really good content for you. Posting it out there, educating people about stuff, and hopefully getting people to start those conversations and reach out to you. Um, Stop talking about cash out refinances to wrap up a whole bunch of debt. If you're in the mortgage business, everybody's talking about that right now. Everybody is trying to talk about blended rates. And don't get me wrong, there's viability to that. It's powerful. But that's for later. That's not for the intro. That's not for the conversation starter. The conversation starter needs to set you apart. It needs to provide people real value. And I just saw a study not too long ago that said that 74-ish% of all mortgages in America right now have an interest rate under 5%. Um, Newsflash, that's a lot. So almost every homeowner that you talk to who has a mortgage is going to have a rate that you can't touch.
Right.
And that's okay because you don't have to touch it.
Nope.
What they do have is a boatload of equity that they'd like to tap into without touching that rate. And you know what almost every mortgage bank, mortgage lender, mortgage broker has access to right now? A second lien option.
Yep.
So get out there and start telling people that you can tap into your equity without touching that low interest rate on your first. You don't need to do that. We can keep your 2.9% interest rate and still give you access to your equity. Reach out. Let us show you how. Let us put together and then when they reach out and you start that conversation, that's when you calculate the blended rate. That's when you give them multiple options to choose from. If they end up taking out a HELOC or doing a second loan with you, great. But a lot of the times you are going to be able to show them a better option to do a cash out refi on the entire thing because credit card interest rate is through the roof. Credit debt is through the roof in the country. Car interest rates are going up. Student loans, those payments just kick back in. There are a lot of ways that you can leverage a full cash out refinance to pay off all of that stuff and save them even more money than just tacking on a second lien would be able to. And that's a conversation that you will be willing or that you will be able to have if you can get the person to reach out to you in the beginning. But you're not going to get them to reach out to you by presenting them with a whole bunch of complicated math and a random video that comes across their profile feed. You will be able to start those conversations by telling them they can achieve their goals while retaining their low interest rate, because that's the message that no mortgage people are delivering right now.
I want to give you one piece to add on to that.
Yes.
If I was a loan officer and it was something that I was looking to do, one of the things I would do is I would team up with somebody who had access to data.
Yeah.
I would team up with that person who had access to data. And if it was me and it was something that I wanted to do and try, I would target, probably not a good word. I would look for my customer who was in a jumbo loan already.
Yeah.
And I would refinance them into a conforming first,
Sure.
a second, bring their notes down, and then show them how to pay off that second.
I like that. That's really good. And it doesn't just have to be a jumbo loan. You can do a conforming high balance borrowers.
Every
Like
loan I've ever done in
the
my life,
conforming high balance borrower 2 years ago might not be one today.
every loan I've ever done in my life on my own properties, every one except for one, my first house, every one, I've always done a first and a second on. I've always done an 80-10-10, no ifs, ands, or buts on every single property. And I've always done, this is where people, I've actually had mortgage guys kind of laugh because I've never done an ARM.
Yeah.
But on my properties, I do fixed 80-10-10s. That way I can control the 20% down, when and how, and if it's an up market, down market, anything like that. We need to get out of here.
I know, man. This probably should have been 3 episodes, but it's not. It's one.
Cut it up.
You're
Just cut
welcome.
it up.
Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching the Fly with Flag.
And I need to get Karen the connector on here.
Sounds good. I'll hold you to that.
Thanks, boss.